Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berbahagia Dr. Hajah Rosnarizah binti Abdul Halim, Pengarah Bahagian Matrikulasi Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. Yang berusaha Tuan Izahari bin Basar, Pengarah Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan, selaku Pengerusi Pengelola Matriculation Entrepreneurship Carnival MECAR 2022. Timbalan-timbalan pengarah sektor bahagian matrikulasi, pengarah-pengarah Kolej Matrikulasi dan Kolej Mara, timbalan-timbalan pengarah Kolej Matrikulasi dan Kolej Mara, Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountant, Malaysian Institute of Accountants dan Persatuan E-Sports Negeri Sembilan, ketua-ketua jabatan Kolej Matrikulasi, pegawai-pegawai bahagian matrikulasi, para pensyarah, para pelajar dan hadirin yang dikasihi sekalian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Salam MECAR 2022, usahawan berjaya, inspirasi bersama. Bagi memberkati slot kita pada hari ini, eloklah kiranya kita mulakan dengan bacaan doa. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ya Rahman wa ya Rahim, kami memanjatkan kesyukuran kepadamu kerana mengizinkan kami untuk bersama-sama dalam majlis ini secara dalam talian bersempena Matriculation Entrepreneurship Carnival 2022, anjuran bahagian matrikulasi Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia di bawah kelolaan Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan. Ya Allah, Engkaulah yang Maha Agung. Melalui program yang dianjurkan pada hari ini, Engkau titipkan di hati kami keimanan. Engkau satukan hati antara kami tanpa mengira warna kulit dan suku bangsa. Engkau jadikanlah keberkatan kepada kami supaya terbenih keikhlasan di hati, terbina kesihatan jasmani, terjana akal yang suci, terbuka minda abadi. Lalu darinya ya Allah, dapat kami satukan ramuan ini dalam diri untuk kami menjadi umat yang seimbang dari segi intelek, emosi, rohani dan jasmani. Ya Allah, Tuhan yang Maha Esa lagi perkasa, kami memohon kehadratmu, semoga Engkau jadikan majlis ini sebagai satu wadah untuk kami bersatu padu, bekerjasama dan bantu-membantu dalam kalangan kami. Jadikanlah juga majlis ini sebagai usaha murni kami untuk mengembangkan potensi para pelajar dan membina kerjaya pada masa hadapan. Allahumma ya badi'us samawati wal ard, ya Allah ya Razzaq, kami memohon kelancaran program ini. Jauhilah dari segala fitnah dan kerosakan agar majlis ini dapat disempurnakan dengan jayanya serta mendapat manfaat yang berpanjangan. Ya Munzilal Kitab, ya Allah, jadikanlah perhimpunan kami ini sebagai perhimpunan berkati dan dirahmati, dan jadikanlah perpisahan kami selepas ini sebagai perpisahan yang Engkau pelihara daripada mara bahaya dan keburukan. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallim walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Terima kasih diucapkan atas bacaan doa sebentar tadi. Saya, Najwa Fahanah Atirah binti Azrin, selaku moderator untuk slot Pertandingan Action 2022 pada hari ini. Selamat datang ke slot tayangan video finalis Pertandingan Action 2022, anjuran bahagian matrikulasi Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. Sebagai pembuka acara, eloklah kiranya saya kongsikan terlebih dahulu latar belakang pertandingan ini. Pertandingan Action 2022 ini merupakan sebahagian daripada program MECAR 2022, anjuran bahagian matrikulasi Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia yang dikelolakan oleh Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan. Ia bertujuan mencungkil bakat para pelajar di samping menggalakkan penghasilan bahan kreatif melalui teknologi seiring dengan norma baharu. 2-3 kucing berlari, mana nak sama si kucing belang. Semua video telah diadili, saksikanlah 6 yang cemerlang. Hadirin sekalian, kini tibalah masa yang dinanti-nantikan, iaitu paparan 6 video terbaik bagi pertandingan ini. Adalah diharapkan agar para penonton bersedia untuk menyaksikan 6 video finalis yang akan merebut 3 tempat teratas yang bakal diumumkan esok. Mari sama-sama kita saksikan video yang pertama.
On a lovely morning, a group of Kedah Matriculation College students on Cloud 9 came to the chocolate factory to finish their project. Hi. Assalamualaikum. My name is Danish. I am a Kedah Matriculation College student who want to complete an assignment on this factory. Could you, Mum, give me some background information on this chocolate factory?
Yes, I am. Okay, Danish, come on. I will show you about this factory in more depth and tell you about some additional information. Actually, this factory opened in 2003 until now. We process and produce various types of chocolate such as KitKat and Daim. We produce chocolate product for sale in the market. Then, our factory was manufacturing overhead costs of that are indirectly associated with the manufacturing of the finished product. So, firstly, let me explain to you, this cost may also be defined as manufacturing costs that cannot be classified as either direct materials or direct labor. So, that have many terms that you must to know about this manufacturing overhead cost. That is also includes indirect labor, depreciation on factory, building, machinery, insurance, factory facilities, salaries, utilities of factory and others. Hence, that have three types of manufacturing overhead: applied overhead and budget overhead. Okay, now let me take you to see our factory supervisor. She will explain in more details about how the management of this factory plans work. Okay, let's go. Come on.
You must be the factory's supervisor. Could you help me with elaborate on the costs incurred by this factory?
Yes, of course, I love to share with you. As for this chocolate factory, we will use normal costing system to calculate product cost which is related to manufacturing overhead. First, it consists of actual direct material cost, actual direct labor cost, and applied overhead. So, on how we determine predetermined overhead for this factory, we will divide estimate annual overhead cost with estimate annual operating activity. We will use 5 different bases, which is unit produced, direct material cost, direct labor cost, direct labor hours, and machine hours. Second one is, we will calculate applied manufacturing overhead by multiply predetermined overhead with actual activity base. By doing all this calculation, we can know goods manufactured based on each activity.
Hello, Mum. You must be the factory's accountant, right? Could you explain to me how you can detect if the factory is losing money?
As an accountant, we detect the company's money flow by recording the transactions made daily. In the end of the accounting period, we will check the documents related to the transactions and the actual balances of our accounts. We will also compare the applied overhead set by the management team with the actual overhead. If the applied overhead is higher than the actual overhead, we will not lose money. Instead, we will gain some extra assets. But if the applied overhead is lower than the actual overhead, it will cost our company to pay more than our budget by the under-applied overhead.
Hey, come here, come here. Accept this chocolate as a souvenir from us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. You're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Then, the student returned to their college happily.
Menarik sekali video yang dihasilkan tadi. Seterusnya, kita teruskan pula dengan video yang kedua. Mari sama-sama kita saksikan.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So today we are going to learn about a subtopic from chapter 2 in management accounting, which is cost. Costs are divided by two, which are manufacturing costs and non-manufacturing costs. But in this video, we will be focusing on manufacturing costs.
Manufacturing cost is the sum of all resources consumed in the process of making a product. For that, let's look at the production of pure chocolate from cocoa.
There are three components in manufacturing cost: direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead.
Firstly, direct materials. Direct materials refer to those raw materials and supplies that are consumed during the manufacture of a product and which are directly identified with that product. As you guys can see from the video, chocolate is made from cocoa beans, which are imported from certain countries. For example, the direct materials for a chocolate is cocoa beans.
Secondly, direct labor is the labor cost incurred in converting raw materials into finished product. Clearly from that video, we can see there are workers that directly work on the manufacturing of the chocolate. They do packing and weighing the chocolate. In order to produce the chocolate, we need to hire the workers. So those workers' wage paid is one of the example of direct labor costs. Lastly, manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead is all manufacturing costs except direct materials and direct labor. From that video, we can see that a lot of machine used to produce chocolate. How does the machine works? Of course, from electricity. So, the cost of electricity is also an example of manufacturing overhead.
So now you guys can understand the component of manufacturing cost, right?
Yes, exactly. Do you guys understand? That is all from us. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Dua video telah pun kita tonton. Menarik bukan? Jom kita teruskan dengan video yang ketiga.
Baik dari
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Haji bin Baharu. As you can see, I'm from College Multiplication Negeri 9. In this video, you can call me Mr. Accounting. So today, I want to explain about the type of business document in topic 3, accounting cycle. First of all, there is a 9 step in the accounting cycle. One of the important steps is transaction analysis, which refers to document sources. So, what type of document sources should we know in the business? Without wasting our time, let's go! Firstly, invoice. This is an example of invoice. It is issued by seller to the buyer. It's also functions to inform the credit transaction. Second, delivery notes. This is an example of delivery notes. It is issued by the seller to the buyer. Its function to inform the goods or item delivered to the buyer. It's also used as a reference to check the delivery items. Thirdly, debit note. This is an example of debit note. It is issued by the seller to the buyer. Its function is to inform the buyer that his account has been debited to the seller's book of account. Next, credit note. This is an example of credit note. It is issued by the seller to the buyer. Its function to inform the buyer that his account has been credited into the seller books of account. After that, purchase order. This is an example of purchase order. It is issued by the buyer to the seller. Its function to inform the goods of detail to be purchased. Moreover, receipt. This is an example of receipt. It is issued by the seller when receive payment from the buyer. Its function to inform the detail of receipt and payment has been made. Furthermore, payment voucher. This is an example of payment voucher. Its function to inform any kind of payment has been made by the business. It is a business internal document. In addition, check stub. This is an example of check stub. Its function to inform any payment made by check. It is used as a reference for the check payment by the business. Last but not least, bank slip. This is an example of bank slip. Its function to inform any deposit or withdraw money made by bank customer. Lastly, bank statement. This is an example of bank statement. It shows the detail of bank account transaction. So, we can conclude that business documents are so important because they use as a proof or evidence for each transaction that has occurred. It's related to principle of objectivity that each transaction has valid and reliable evidence to support the transaction, because the transaction will be recorded in the business book entries. Unfortunately, we are in the end of this video. Wish us luck and thank you. Bye bye. Jalan. So, what type of business? Baca. Next. Apa tadi? Next kredit note. 3. Lagi sikit.
Hebat dan menarik video yang ditayangkan sebentar tadi. Seterusnya, untuk meluaskan lagi ilmu perakaunan kita, mari sama-sama kita saksikan tayangan video yang keempat.
Hi everyone. Where should we start? Alright. Where is a state that have a lot factory? Like a lot, you know? Yeah, that's right. Shah Alam. How does a factory connected to our life as an accountant? As an accountant that work as part of the factory, we need to make a statement of cost of good manufactured. After that, income statement. So what is the cost of good manufactured statement and income statement? Yeah, let's go. So, the meaning of COGM statement is a statement that consists of the calculation of a company's total cost of production during a specific period of time. While income statement is financial statement that show you the company's income and expenditure. Three components in COGM statement, which is direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Direct material is raw material cost that can be traced to the finished product. Direct labor incurred in converting raw material into finished product. And manufacturing overhead is all manufacturing costs except for direct material and direct labor that I mentioned before. So, this is COGM statement. After we get the COGM, we will bring it to the income statement and the cost of goods sold. So, this is a format of income statement. Well, we already come to the end now. Let's go! How to prepare COGM statement and income statement? This is a question. And the instruction is prepare COGM statement and income statement. Let's answer this question. In COGM statement, we have to put direct material, which is raw material inventory March 1, 9,000 plus raw material purchase 20,000, and we will get raw material available for use 29,000, and we have to deduct raw material inventory March 31, 11,000, and we get direct material use 18,000. After that, we have direct labor, which is assembly line wages 22,000, and we have to put manufacturing overhead, which is factory utilities 5,000, and factory supervisor salaries 2,000, factory tax 2,000, factory maintenance 4,000, and depreciation on plant and equipment 6,000, and the total is 19,000. Then we will get total current manufacturing cost, which is we have to plus DM, DL, and MO. After that, we have to plus work in process March 1, 18,000. Then we have total cost of work in process 77,000, and we have to deduct work in process March 31 with 8,000, and we get cost of good manufacturing 69,000. Then we have to prepare comprehensive income statement. We have sale net 19,000, and we have to minus cost of goods sold, which is finished good inventory beginning 18,000 plus cost of good manufacture 69,000, and we get cost of good available for sale, and minus finished good inventory ending 7,000, and we get cost of goods sold 18,000, and we get gross profit 10,000, and we have to minus operating expenses, and we get net loss 20,000. That's all. Thank you.
Tak sabar rasanya nak tengok video yang seterusnya. Mesti para penonton nak tahu kolej manakah yang berjaya menghasilkan video pembelajaran yang menarik perhatian para juri. Jom kita teruskan dengan video yang kelima.
Oh, amat dekat tu.
Allah, susah betul lah Pak Minggu. Apa kau ambil kau dulu lah. Ni, department. Susah lah Pak Milo. Tengok ni course behavior tu.
Oh, ni. Don't worry.
Ni yang don't worry lah. I ada UPS tak perform. I punya SPM hari tu teruk. Ni, aduh teruk lah lah. Aduh, stres lah lah.
It's okay. Still, don't worry. This is because we in one form of kendiri is here to help you. Hey, still don't know chapter 3 course behavior? It's okay. Today I will help you. Let's go. So guys, chapter 3 cost behavior. There are 3 cost behavior such as variable cost, fixed cost, and mixed cost. So today we are going to do a target for variable cost. Variable cost. What is the definition? Okay, very simple. Variable costs are costs that vary accordingly with the changes in activity level. For example, variable costs are costs that includes direct labor, direct materials, and indirect materials. For example, face mask. Sorry guys. So, as for a face mask factory, to produce face masks, we need direct material like fabric, cotton, and rubber. For the direct labor is workers, right? So how are we going to get all these things? Money, right? We need money to buy all these things. So the cost to buy direct materials, direct labor, and indirect materials are called variable costs. Furthermore, if you want to produce more and more face masks, of course, you're going to need more costs, right? That's why variable costs will also increase. As we can say, variable costs are costs that vary accordingly with the changes in activity. From this statement, we can say that when volume increases, variable costs will also increase. As well as when volume decreases, variable costs will also decrease. Furthermore, there's also one more called variable cost per unit. Okay, what is variable cost per unit? Variable cost per unit equals to cost divided by the units produced at that specific time. So, as you can see, here is the graph of variable cost per unit. You can see that the cost is always stagnant, B. The cost is B. Alright, let's go to the example to identify whether is it or not it is a variable cost. Let's go. Let's say a face mask factory. In January, the cotton used for the factory to produce face masks is 10,000 kg. So the cost is 20,000 ringgit. In February, the cotton used is 20,000 kg. So the cost used is 40,000 ringgit. So to identify whether is it or not this cotton is variable cost, we use variable cost per unit. So in January, we take 20,000 ringgit divided by 10,000 kg. For February, we take 40,000 ringgit divided by 20,000 kg. So the answer we get is Rm2 per kg. So Rm2 per kg, this is variable cost per unit. As we just said, variable cost per unit remains the same at every level, Y equals to B. That's why this cotton for this factory is also variable cost. What's up guys? Hope you guys find this video useful and good luck in your exams. Thanks for watching this video. Bye!
Kita telah menyaksikan 5 daripada 6 video finalis. Jadi, tanpa melengahkan masa, mari kita saksikan video yang terakhir.
Hello, today we would like to talk about break-even point, BEP. Have you ever wondered what is a break-even point? The meaning of break-even point, BEP, is the level of operations at which a business revenues is equals to total. It can be represented in units or RM. BEP is important to determine how many units of its products must a firm sell to break even. Thus, the smaller the BEP, the better it is. Means BEP can be achieved in shorter times, thus can generate profit in shorter time too. At BEP, profit is equals to 0. Fixed cost is equals to contribution margin at BEP too.
How about contribution margin? Definition of CM. Contribution margin, CM, the amount of revenue remaining after deducting variable costs. It is often stated as a total amount and on a per unit basis. It is a measure of the ability of a company to cover variable costs with revenue, the amount left over. The bigger the CM, the better it is. Contribution margin, total sales minus total variable cost, and contribution margin per unit, sale price per unit minus variable cost per unit.
How to find break-even point? In the short name is BEP. BEP have two in account, that is BEP in unit and BEP in RM. BEP in unit, the formula is fixed cost divide contribution margin per unit, and BEP in RM is BEP unit times selling price per unit. Now we go to example question. The following is the information for Maldina company. The selling price is RM 12 ringgit per unit, and the variable cost is RM 2 per unit, and the fixed cost is RM 10,000 ringgit. And the question said find BEP in units and RM and then sketch a graph. First, we need to find a BEP in unit, so we must take a same formula, that's fixed cost divide contribution margin per unit. To find contribution margin per unit is selling price minus variable cost. So we put RM 10,000 ringgit to fixed cost and divide RM 12 ringgit minus 2 for contribution margin per unit and calculate, and the answer is 1,000 unit. Then we need to find BEP in RM. So we take the answer for BEP in units and time RM 12 ringgit. The 12 ringgit is selling price. Calculate, and the answer is RM 12,000 ringgit.
To sketch the break-even point graph, we plot the units on the horizontal axis and the ringgit on the vertical line. After that, we plot 1,000 units for the break-even units on the horizontal axis and 12,000 ringgit for the break-even ringgit on the vertical line. After that, we draw a horizontal line for the fixed cost at 10,000 ringgit. After that, we draw a horizontal line for the fixed cost at 10,000 ringgit. For the total revenue line is satisfied by 00 and we pass the break-even point. For the total cost, we will start at fixed cost and pass to the break-even point. So now, before the break-even point, that region will be referred as loss, and after break-even point will constitute as profit. This graph is important to find the minimum level of sales that business need to achieve in order to avoid loss.
Alhamdulillah, dengan berakhirnya slot tayangan 6 video finalis itu tadi, kita nantikan pula keputusan 3 tempat teratas yang bakal diketahui esok. Kita sudah sampai ke penghujung slot. Jutaan terima kasih saya ucapkan atas kesudian para hadirin meluangkan masa bagi sesi ini. Saya mewakili seluruh jawatan kuasa Pertandingan Action 2022 mengucapkan tahniah dan syabas kepada semua peserta yang terlibat. Anda hebat, anda berbakat, anda kreatif. Semoga video-video pembelajaran ini dapat memberi manfaat kepada para pelajar perakaunan. Semoga kita berjumpa lagi. Sekian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.